Hi, my name's Gage, and I'm one of the founders of StreamYard. Today I'm going to be walking you through everything you need to know to go live. In case you're not already familiar with StreamYard, it's a live production tool that you can use directly from your browser. You don't have to download anything, and neither do your guests. One of the greatest things about StreamYard is that it's cloud-based. This means that StreamYard's servers do most of the work instead of your own computer. This allows you to use a low-power device like a Chromebook if you want to, and you'll still have a great experience. StreamYard lets you do really cool stuff like interview guests, share your screen, bring in lower thirds, show videos on the screen, simulcast to most major social networks. It's a great tool, so let's jump into it. The first thing we'll need to do is head to streamyard.com and create an account. I actually already have an account, so I'll simply use the login option. But if you're new to StreamYard, just enter your email and hit get started. StreamYard doesn't actually use passwords. Whenever you log in, you'll simply be emailed a code. So let's log in with this test account. You can see there that an email code has been sent. So if you just enter it, your account will be created and you can start using StreamYard. If you're new to StreamYard, the first thing you'll see is a prompt to add a destination. Destinations are the places that you send your live streams to. As you can see, StreamYard integrates with most major social platforms. We also have a custom RTMP option if you want to send your stream to a platform that StreamYard doesn't integrate with. The downside of custom RTMP is there's no scheduling option and comments won't be able to come into the studio. Also, if you just want to test things out, you can skip adding a destination and create a record-only broadcast. So let's go ahead and connect a destination. For this tutorial, I'll be connecting a Facebook page. After selecting the destination, you'll be prompted to grant StreamYard some permissions. These permissions allow StreamYard to create the broadcast on your behalf and gather comments for you to show on screen. As you go through the permission sequence here, make sure you have the post privacy to public. This will allow everyone to see your posts on Facebook and live streams that you create on Facebook. Now that we've connected a destination, we can start creating broadcasts. If at any point you want to connect more destinations or manage the ones that you currently have connected, simply go back to the destinations section of your dashboard and click that Add a Destination button, and you'll be prompted with that same panel we were looking at previously. But right now we want to create a broadcast. So let's go back there and click the Create a Broadcast button. You'll be prompted to select which destination you'd like to go live to. So for example, let's select a Facebook page. One of the most powerful features of StreamYard is the ability to simulcast directly from our platform. So I could also select YouTube and stream there at the same time. After you've selected all the destinations that you want to go live to, you can enter a title and description, and you also have the option to schedule for later. This will create a post in advance on each platform. This is great for promoting your streams beforehand because you'll get a unique link that you can share out to your audience before you go live. So let's go ahead and enter a title and description and choose a start time for our stream. And then we'll go ahead and click the Customize for each destination button. This will allow you to make slight changes to each destination if, for example, you wanted your YouTube description to be slightly different than your Facebook description. And then go ahead and click the Create Broadcast button. We've now created a broadcast, and we can see it in the upcoming broadcasts section along with the destinations that we have set. Before we enter the broadcast studio, let's click this More button because it has some important links that we should know about. The first link is Invite a Guest. So this link is not for your viewers. This is the link that you'll use if you're interviewing someone or you want to bring someone on screen with you. So you'd send this out to your participant before the live stream starts so that they would actually be able to be part of your broadcast. Again, you do not want to send this link out to your viewers. The next option here is Edit. So this is useful if you want to change your title or description or maybe the start time of your stream. Of course, we can delete the stream if we want. And then these bottom two links are for your viewers. So since this was scheduled, posts were generated on Facebook and YouTube. These two links will take us to those posts, and we might want to share these links out beforehand to promote our stream. Now let's go ahead and enter the broadcast studio. You can enter the broadcast studio at any time without actually starting your broadcast. So this is good to prepare your assets and images you're going to share during the broadcast beforehand. We'll dive into that after I enter the studio. So let's go ahead and click that button. Each time you'll receive a nice tip to be aware of while the broadcast loads. You'll be prompted to allow mic and cam access. So let's do that now. Hi there. And then, of course, you'll want to enter your display name, which I will put Gage. And we have a check here to make sure your mic's working. And you can adjust things in the settings. So if you want to change which camera you're using or what your resolution's set at. So actually, I'll adjust this to 720p. The audio is where you'll control your mic. We do have this option here called Disable Audio Processing. That's something you'll want to use if you have a very nice audio setup and you're wearing headphones. You won't want to use it if you're not wearing headphones because you might have an issue with echo. Make sure you read this tooltip beforehand, and it should tell you everything you need to know. So that all looks good. So let's exit out of this and go ahead and enter the broadcast studio. As you can see, there's a black screen here. So that screen is what will actually be output to the platforms when we go live. So you'll want to make sure you add yourself to the broadcast, or else your viewers will just be seeing a black screen with no sound, which you probably don't want. So you just click to add yourself to the broadcast. So now I'm actually part of the broadcast. If I were to go live, the audience would be able to see and hear me. Before we do that, let's walk through some of these sections. So you can see the comments here. So since we're going live to Facebook and YouTube, comments will appear in this section, and we'll be able to show them on screen. We'll go back to this once we're actually live and show you how those comments will look. But yes, instead of this duck image, it would be the avatar of the person commenting. Banners are a very popular feature. Basically, they're a way to show lower thirds or calls to action during your stream. So I already have these are actually from a previous stream. These are some examples of what you might use for these, and you can create new ones at any point. So let's just type one that says test. You also have the option to turn it into a ticker with this checkbox here, but I'll just make this a regular one. So we now have this test banner. This previous one is a ticker, so you can see how that looks as well. You can simply reorder them by dragging and dropping them if you want your banners to be in a different order. I know lots of people like to organize their talking points that way. We also have folders, which can be nice if you have a set of banners that you regularly use. So the folder I'm using now is called example banners, but if I wanted to, I could back out of here and create a new folder to organize maybe another set of banners. So if I had a particular brand where I was regularly using a set for that, I could create a folder there, but I'll just use my current ones for now. Let's go to the brand section. So this is where you sort of control the look and feel of your stream. You can choose whatever brand color you want. Right now, mine is set to red, but for example, I could make that, let's go ahead and choose maybe blue. We have two themes to choose from, and we'll be adding more in the future. So this changes the size and look of your banners and comments. So the default theme things are a bit larger. I can show you what the banners look like for that. So yeah, they're a bit bigger. Your logo is what will appear in the top right of the screen. So if you're on the free version of StreamYard, you'll just have that powered by StreamYard logo. But on the premium version, you'll be able to upload your own. So for example, instead of powered by StreamYard, our logo happens to be the StreamYard duck, but you could choose your own logo. Overlays are also a premium feature, and they are essentially assets that go on top of your broadcast. We have an example here. So as you can see, the majority of this image is transparent. So you can place just certain sections on top of your broadcast. They can also be videos. So if you want to do an intro video or an outro video, this is a great way to do that. You just simply upload it here and click it when your stream starts. And that'll allow you to start the stream with a intro video. And of course, you can do full screen images as well. Finally, we have backgrounds. These only appear in certain layouts. So since I'm by myself, you won't actually see this. But in a second here, I'll invite a guest, and then you'll see this background I have set. But just to show you what it looks like, I can remove myself from the stream, and you can see that there is that background there. And of course, we get that tip that you don't generally want to remove yourself because you'll lose audio. So I'll add myself back, but you'll see how that background looks when I bring Dana on in the various layouts. You also have this option here to show or hide display names. I'll just leave that on. So that covers the features of the brand section. If you like, you can actually create multiple brands, which is really useful if you go live to different channels and want to organize your assets for those channels separately. So if you just click the name up here, you can see the option to create a new brand and the list of the brands that you've already created. The private chat is just for communicating with your guests that are inside the studio. Right now I'm by myself, so I would just be talking to myself, but Dana will be joining here in a second, and that's how I would communicate with her. Let's quickly walk through the settings option and what's available to us here. First, we have the general section, which there's only one option here now. There'll be more in the future, but there's this checkbox it's pretty self-explanatory, shift videos up for comments / banners. All this means is that there's certain layouts where when you have multiple guests, their faces can be obstructed by the comment or banner that you're sharing on screen. So what this does is it shifts everyone up so that no one's obstructed when you're sharing the comments and banners. Next, we have the camera. We've actually seen this before when we first entered the studio. So this is where you can adjust your camera at any time or the resolution. You can do this while you're live too. So if you had different cameras and for some reason you wanted to switch between them, you could do that. You have your audio section, which is, again, we've seen this before. You can change which mic you're using. The speaker is where your audio is being output. So you can click the test button here to make sure you can hear the noise. So if you have the wrong speaker selected, you won't be able to hear that. So you'll want to make sure you have the correct speaker selected so that you can hear your guests. And again, we see that disable audio processing option, which we chatted about before. There is a green screen feature built directly into StreamYard, and you can upload your own virtual backgrounds here. We have two examples for you, and these are ones that I uploaded in the past. So if you select it, and you do have to have an actual physical green screen behind you, and good lighting is essential. My lighting here isn't actually amazing, but it should still work. But I can click one of these backgrounds and have it appear behind me as my green screen. We have a full guide here if you'd like to see more tips. And the final settings section is guests. So these are some controls for your guests. So the first one, again, pretty self-explanatory. This controls whether or not your guests can see viewer comments. Some people like to have this option off to make sure their guests are focused on the actual interview, if it is an interview. The other option is to play a sound when a guest enters. This basically will just make a nice doorbell ding noise, which sometimes people like if they don't know when their guest is going to be coming. They can hear that noise to know that someone has joined and that they need to add them into the broadcast. The final option here is guests must authenticate. So this is an important setting, and you'll want to use this if you want to control who can and cannot enter your broadcasts. Basically, this forces guests to log in with either Facebook or YouTube before they can join you in the broadcast. By default, it's off. So by default, a guest doesn't have to sign up for anything. They don't have to have a StreamYard account. They don't have to have any kind of account. They can join you by simply clicking the invite link, which we'll discuss in a second here. But when this option's on, they'll have to be logged in with Facebook or YouTube. And what that does is it allows you to ban them. If for example, they're misbehaving or they're causing trouble, you can actually ban them, but you'll only be able to ban them if you have this option checked, because it allows us to essentially see like, okay, this particular Facebook account or particular YouTube account is banned. Hopefully you'll never have to do that for many types of streams. It's not necessary at all because the guests are highly vetted, which is generally what we recommend. But I do know some people like to do sort of impromptu community shows, and that's where that option can be quite useful. So those are all the settings. Let's quickly cover the controls we have at the bottom here. So you can mute your mic at any time during the broadcast. If you need to cough or yell at someone or something like that, you can stop your cam as well. I know some people like to do all their broadcasts with their camera off, and we have the option to upload an avatar. So this is one I've previously uploaded. You can change your avatar here on your tile with this edit avatar button. So you can see I have this other popcorn example, or you can just have none set at all. I'll stick with the one I've uploaded previously, and I'll go ahead and turn my camera back on. We have the cam and mic settings, which we've seen previously, and this will bring up the settings wheel we already covered, but it will have the camera option pre-selected. Next, we have the screen sharing feature. So this generally works best when you have two monitors. People use this feature to share things like PowerPoint slides or Google Slides, or just the entire browser. Lots of people use this feature to show themselves navigating through a web browser or sharing a YouTube video. When you're sharing a Chrome tab, there's an option to share audio. We have a full document that walks through everything you need to know about screen sharing, and I'll include that in the description. Now let's try inviting a guest. You can invite a guest at any time. So this is good if you want to test before the broadcast starts to make sure your guest's equipment's working normally. It's a good idea to invite them into the studio beforehand and test it out with them. So to get your invite link, just click the invite button here, and you have a few options for how you can invite the guest. You can use email or simply copy it to your clipboard and send it to them using something like Facebook Messenger. So I'm going to do that now and invite Dana into my broadcast.
So I just clicked on the guest link that I was sent, and I get to this page where I get to test my mic, my speakers, and my camera. So I've got my camera here, looks good. I'm using the right webcam. I'm testing my mic. When I speak, I get to see this green bar move. Now I'm ready to join the broadcast. So I'm going to click Enter Broadcast Studio.
So as you can see, Dana has now joined the broadcast. She can see and hear me, but we can't actually hear her. We just see that tile at the bottom there. If we were live right now, our audience wouldn't be able to see or hear her either because we haven't actually added her into the broadcast. So to add someone into the broadcast, you simply click their tile. So now that I've added Dana, we can now see and hear her, and our audience can see and hear her as well. So hey, Dana, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. So and then these buttons here can be used to change the layout. So if we want us to be a bit smaller, we can do that. And now you can see the background behind us. You also have these solo layout buttons that you can use to highlight a guest while they're talking. So if you can see here, I can highlight Dana or myself and switch between us. And you won't lose audio when doing that. So if you full screen one guest, you'll still be able to hear the other. Sometimes people make the mistake of removing a guest from the stream to get the same effect, but you do not want to do that because you'll lose audio. So that pretty much covers the layout buttons. So why don't we now try going live? So you can go live at any time before the broadcast. You just don't want to be late, because if you're more than 10 minutes late, the broadcast will automatically be deleted on certain platforms. Just Facebook, actually. But so you can start early, but don't start late is the general rule. So why don't we go live and we'll see how the comments work and what it actually looks like to simulcast. Okay, so we're now live on Facebook and YouTube. I'm just broadcasting to test channels right now, so we don't really have any viewers. The one viewer we have is me. But as an example, I'll comment from the studio so you can see how they look on screen. I'll just say hello here. And this will go out to Facebook and YouTube, so you can see them in the chat. So I can show a comment from myself. It'll show the avatar image and the platform where the comment's coming from. Same thing with Facebook. It's commenting from my page name, which is sample page. And if I had actual viewers, they would all be commenting, and those comments would appear in the studio there as well. You can actually edit the broadcast at any time. You probably wouldn't want to do this, but if for some reason you wanted to end one of them early, you could actually simply hit this drop down here and remove it. There's also the view on Facebook link if you want to check what's going on Facebook. We don't recommend doing that while you're live because you'll be seeing the stream and hearing it while you're live in the StreamYard studio, which can cause echo if you're not wearing headphones. But it is a way to check what's going on. So yeah, you've now seen pretty much all there is about StreamYard. We'll end this broadcast and show you a bit more about the dashboard. Thanks for your help, Dana. We'll close it out here. I'll just go ahead and hit that end broadcast button. So our broadcast is now over. If you're on the premium version of StreamYard, you'll have the option to download your video or audio file after the stream is over. You simply click on this links section and click download recording, and you can see the option to download the full recording or just the audio file. The audio file can be useful if you're a podcaster and want to use that file for your podcast. You will want to remember to download them relatively quickly because they'll be removed after 7 days. One thing we didn't cover while we were actually live is the moderation tools that we have in the studio. So if you have someone commenting that is causing trouble, you can click these three dots and delete the comment or block the user, which hopefully you never have to do that, but it is a nice thing to have just in case. Now let's go back to the dashboard and we'll show you how it looks now that the stream's over and where you can find it in your past broadcast section. Now we're back on the dashboard and you can see we no longer have any upcoming broadcasts, but we of course have our previous broadcast in the past broadcasts section. It's the one at the top here. You can see I do a lot of testing, so we have a lot of different ones here. But if you click more, you can go back to and find the recording and the links to view it on Facebook and YouTube. Whenever you're ready to create another broadcast, simply go back to the upcoming broadcast section and click that Create a Broadcast button. There's no limit to the number of broadcasts you can create, so if you want to plan out a bunch of broadcasts beforehand, you can certainly do that. And remember, if you need to adjust anything with your destinations or add more destinations, simply click the Destination section on the left there. If you ever need any help, we'd be happy to help you. Simply click My Account and go to the Contact section, which will take you to a live chat link where our support team would be happy to assist you with anything that you need help with. Hopefully this was helpful. Thank you.